Welcome back to Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. Fun to watch highlights of a Super Bowl champion and an All-American.
I used to actually shoot the footage. That's a lot of my footage there.
You shot those touchdowns?
Yeah. I'm in the end zone shooting my future homie, Dennis Pitta.
Well.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
bit of
context
We didn't use the game footage
here.
or get the melts, so I would just sit there and shoot, yeah.
Dennis Pitta joins us on BYU Sports Nation.
Probably
Dennis,
focused a couple times.
Upon learning about this revelation that Jarom shot some of your highlights that we just showed on BYUtv, how does that make you feel?
I didn't know Jarom was the main cameraman for the mountain. It explains a lot, because every time I go watch the old games, it's you can't even tell what's going on. It's so pixelated.
Yeah.
So the fact that he filmed all those makes a lot of sense to me, actually.
You wish it was on the mountain. It was just me in the end zone. Some cold days. Now I just sit in the warm press box. But what's going on, man? How you doing? BYU's 5-2, playing Texas. Feeling good, but huge game Saturday.
Yeah, hey, before we get into football, guys, we've got all day to talk about football. I need to bring somebody on right now. I have somebody here with me who needs to issue an apology.
Look who it is, Mr. Austin Colley.
He needs to issue an apology not only to you two, mainly to Spencer, because we don't value your time, Jarom.
Spencer wasn't even here yesterday.
You weren't even there, Spencer?
I was.
Let's preface this by saying Austin was supposed to be on the show yesterday.
Yes.
And conveniently slept in. And missed his appearance. So I made him come out today and issue an apology. So I'm going to give Austin the mic here for a second. And,
give him the mic already.
He's got a lot to say.
I'm first off, I was on West Coast time. I played for Mountain Time. Okay, we can chalk that up to concussions.
He's been hit in the head a lot.
We know.
That is clear.
All right?
That's real.
But yeah, apologies, guys, on behalf of everybody here in this household. So sorry, and yeah, look forward to getting on there next week.
Austin,
all good, man.
You're forgiven. Yeah. You are forgiven. Now we just got to get Dennis and Jarom to forgive each other for whatever it is.
I have no issue with Dennis. We just rarely make time.
You're taking it to the grave.
Let me mention that Austin was not under my roof when he slept in and missed his appearance on your show yesterday. Okay, had he been under my roof, I would have made sure that he was up and on time and ready to go.
You're responsible.
He was in a hotel up in Huntington Beach yesterday, and he's got this whole elaborate story about how there was a fire alarm at 4 a.m.
We heard.
Oversleep.
We believe him.
And he messed up, Mountain Time versus Pacific Time. It's a lot of excuses, a lot of really poor excuses, but I made him come on here and apologize because that's unacceptable. We value your guys' time. We apologize to BYU Sports Nation.
Yes. To
all our Cougar fans out there. And on behalf of Austin and myself, we're collectively embarrassed by his lack of punctuality on his appearance. So if you guys don't invite him back, totally understandable. I completely get that. And I know he has a reoccurring spot on your show every week or every other week. If you terminate that contract, I agree. I mean, I would agree with that decision wholeheartedly.
Well, thanks for coming on, Dennis. It's good to talk to
you. Been fun, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
we want to talk football.
Let's talk football. Okay. 5-2, and no one's given BYU a shot at Texas. Like, it opens as a 20-point dog. We've been talking about, hey, there are reasons to think that BYU can go and compete, and hey, maybe even win. Who knows? Obviously, Texas is uber talented. This BYU offense has struggled. Defense has been taking the ball away. Special teams has been awesome. But what gives you hope that BYU can compete and maybe even win?
Well, the quarterback situation for Texas is one big reason why I think we're playing them at the right time. Because, if you had the starter Quinn Ewers in there, I think, with his experience and all that, I think it'd be an uphill battle for sure, especially playing at Texas. Breaking in a new quarterback, a redshirt freshman, and to be completely honest, I have my fingers crossed that we're going to see Arch Manning in this game because if we want to get some viewers and some eyes on this football game, you put the Manning kid in the game and the whole country will be watching. So secretly and selfishly, I hope that he plays in this game. But either way, it's a freshman quarterback in his first start, making his college debut. What a great situation and potential for BYU's defense to be able to generate turnovers, which they have done all year. And so the reason they have won a lot of games is largely because of their defense, their ability to turn the ball over and set the offense up with short fields or score points themselves. And so if you can get a young freshman quarterback to turn the ball over a few times, well, then anything can happen, because we know how big turnover margin is in the outcome of a football game. So I like BYU's chances, to completely honest. If you asked me this, a week or two ago when their starter was still in there, I would have said, it's probably going to be an uphill battle. It would have to be, a near flawless performance by BYU to get this one done. But I mean, we have a chance.
Dennis, does BYU's performance against a backup quarterback in his first start, Josh Hoover, at TCU in Texas on the road, afternoon game, does any of that give you pause that maybe that BYU team shows up? And if you don't think that team's going to show up, why is it that you believe BYU will be better than they were at TCU against the backup quarterback?
Well, listen, TCU's backup quarterback played pretty darn well in that game. So, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, maybe this guy comes in and he never leaves. He's the starter for the rest of the year because he just outplays Quinn Ewers and gives them their best chance to win. You don't know what's going to happen, but, you could have a classic Wally Pipp situation where, you come in and you never leave. And that's why injuries are so tough in sports, because sometimes you give up your position because of an injury and you never get it back. And it's the next man up and he outperforms you. And so could that happen? Certainly. I know that freshman kid or the starter for TCU didn't play quite as well the next week against who did they lose to?
Kansas State, 41-3.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the states. They got kind of throttled in that game. So he played really well against BYU, but it might have just been that first start kind of high that he was riding. But listen, you don't know what you're going to get out of a backup quarterback. And, this kid's uber talented. He was a high recruit. He's actually from here to the high school, Sarah. And so I know a lot of guys out here who played against him, whether in 7-on-7 or in a real game. And he's a big, strong athlete that can run and can throw the football. So BYU's certainly got their hands or their work cut out for them, because he's a talented football player. But getting a quarterback in his first start is usually a good thing for a defense. And especially if you can confuse him with some different looks and give him some things he's not used to seeing in the speed of an actual game. And you might be able to generate some turnovers, but you never know what you're going to get. I do like BYU's chances. I think this gives them a much better chance than Quinn Ewers been in the game.
What are you seeing from the tight end position? Because it feels like it's being used less than we thought. Isaac Rex obviously is doing his thing with 23 for 316 and 1 touchdown. One more touchdown he passed Gordon Hudson for all-time touchdowns. Matava Tasse has the second most snaps at 136, and then it's everybody else with like 33 or fewer. What are you seeing from the tight end position?
Well, I mean, the tight end position runs through Isaac Rex. And, other tight ends have played a decent amount. I mean, you said that one name that I won't try to repeat because I don't know how to say it. And he's largely been their blocking tight end. So he comes in a lot and not running a lot of routes. It's been Isaac on all the passing downs and any passing situation that has come in and been their receiving threat. Listen, Isaac started the year really well, and he was getting catches. Their offense was playing well and putting up points and all that kind of stuff. I think you have to involve Isaac Rex. I think it's a mistake if he's not being utilized. I think it's a mistake if you're not developing a quick game package that allows him to get the ball in his hands and rumble upfield. He's a big body. I mean, it takes a lot to get him to the ground. And so if he can catch, a couple stick routes a game, a couple shallows a game, a dig here and there over the middle, those things add up over time. And then those 5-yard catches start turning into 8 and 10-yard gains because it's tough to bring down. And I just think you have to start the passing game with number 83. I think he has to be involved. I think he has to be involved early. He has to be involved throughout the game. And if you can get the ball in his hands quickly and get the ball out of Keaton's hands quickly, throwing those short little passes in the quick game and starting things off and really making an extension of your run game, which has been obviously lacking, I think that's your best formula for offensive football. And to be able to have a guy like Isaac Rex and not really target him a ton is a mistake. And so, listen, I always go to bat for tight ends. And I think it was last year, there was the whole Dallin Holker situation and Isaac Rex, and they weren't getting involved early. And then you have Dallin transferring and all that kind of stuff. I mean, look at what Dallin's doing now. He's one of the top pass catching tight ends in the whole country.
Yeah.
And so I was, standing on my soapbox last year trying to make a case for the fact that we need to use our tight ends. We needed to use 2 NFL caliber tight ends, which is what they both are, and we just weren't. And so it's been refreshing to see them try to get Isaac involved this year, and I think they have made a concerted effort to do that. But there's been games where he hasn't been as involved as I would have liked to see. And so I think the passing game starts there. And if you can get the ball in his hands early and often, it opens up everything else. It'll open up Chase Roberts on a deep post. It'll open up all these other receivers that they have to catch the ball downfield. And so any good offense utilizes a tight end. Any good offense in the NFL and college utilizes their tight ends because they are mismatches. And that's certainly what Isaac Rex is, and I would love to see him get the ball a lot more.
Oh, here's to that, Dennis. You just gave me hope that if BYU utilizes Isaac Rex, that might be the jump start that the offense needs. And I guess you can point to our guy Andy Reid, the Chiefs, Travis Kelce,
and Taylor Swift.
You can point to a million different offenses, but all those good offenses, I promise you, utilize a tight end in some way and get them the ball. Here's the thing. There's been a lot made of the run game this year, and you don't have to have a great run game to have a good pass game. You don't have to have a good run game, period. I mean, when you think about teams like the Chiefs and all these potent offenses, do they really think that they have to establish the run to really get their pass game going? No. The run game is a complement to what they do in their pass game. And I think BYU can take that same approach. I think BYU can use quick game to really supplement their run game. And they start getting the ball out of his hands quick, getting it into the receiver's hands. You break a tackle here and there, you get an explosive play. If not, you get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards on a catch, and then it opens up stuff for deeper downfield throws. And then also, guess what happens? It starts to open up running lanes because now they have to play a little bit softer coverage and respect the pass game. And now you have opportunities in the run game. It just sometimes, yeah, you want to be a great running team and you want to be able to take play action shots and downfield shots off of that run game because that's an effective formula. But if you can't run the football, you can't do all that stuff. So you just have to find a way to supplement it with quick RPO throws out to wide receivers or quick game throws, stick routes, all that kind of stuff you can utilize against any defense. No matter what they're running against you, you can take advantage of those throws to supplement the run game, and it will open up runs, it will open up throws downfield, and it will open up your whole offense. And I think that's the step I would love to see this offense take over the next couple of weeks because, let's be honest, guys, it's going to get really, really tough over the next 5 weeks for BYU. Their strength of schedule is top 5 in the country moving forward. And so they play the top 4 teams in the Big 12 ranking-wise over the next 4 weeks. So it's going to be tough sledding. And if you want to grind out a couple wins, that I'm not sure BYU will be favored in any of those games moving forward. And so if you want to steal a win that you probably shouldn't win, then you've got to develop that part of your game.
Dennis, just a thought as we close up this interview, you should really consider giving your football analysis on national television at some point. I think you're pretty good at it. Oh, what? Well, here you are.
I like to keep it, to BYU only.
All right,
well, I appreciate that. I know I kind of went on a couple rants today, and I didn't give you guys a lot of opportunity to talk. I know how much Jarom loves to talk and hear himself talk, so I apologize for dominating the mic in this one. But, I don't think we've talked all year, all season. And so I had a lot of things to say. And I've watched a lot of BYU's film. Isaac Rex and I meet every week and we talk. We watch the opponent. We watch the game film. And so I've been, far more involved this year in watching the film than I ever have. And so I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things to say, whether they're right or wrong. I'm probably wrong at times. but I've also played a lot of football. I've seen a lot of football, and I know some things. I've played it in a million different offenses in 7 years. And with the Ravens, we had 6 different offensive coordinators. So I've played in a million different offenses, and I know, the foundation and the basics of what makes offenses good. And BYU has the tools. They have the coaches. They have the scheme. It's just about kind of putting it all together and understanding, what you can do to take advantage of some of these teams. Listen, Texas is gonna have better athletes than us. That's just a fact. And they play a really simple style of defense. They just, it's a lot of zone drops. It's not going to be a ton of man-to-man. It's not going to be a lot of rerouting the receivers. They're not going to get their hands on guys and make it difficult for the timing and the tempo of the offense. They're just going to try to out-athlete you and say, we're going to line up and play simple stuff and try to beat you with our front four, try to outrun you and do all those things and make you make mistakes. And, I think BYU's got as good of a chance as any to go out there and complete a lot of balls and move the ball if they can, take advantage of some of that quick game and some of that stuff that will supplement their lack of a run game, because this is a really stout run defense and one of the best in the country. And so if we think we're going to go in there and pound the football and then take play action shots off of that, I think it's going to be a long day for us.
A dialed-in Dennis Pitta, very intuitive. Look forward to more of that, Dennis. Let's not wait so long next time. Thanks, brother.